The story for today comes from the Reddit user Mummy24. The house on the corner. This house on the corner, as far as anybody knew, was never inhabited. As far back as Esme could remember, this house gave everyone she knew the most eerie and unpleasant feeling. Something was inside in the depths for its prey. There were rumors and legends about the house and its previous owners. But even Esme's grandparents could not recall anyone actually living there. There was different contradicting accounts on the house's occupants, from criminals to witches, cults and escaped mental patients, all insane dramatic tales of murder, evil, terror, and mystery. The house itself was extremely dilapidated, with peeling paint, smashed top-story windows, and boarded-up doors. It had a dark and gloomy air that made people shudder involuntarily when they walked past. Even the mention of the house on the corner made people uncomfortable and changed the subject as quickly as they could. Esme was fascinated by the house. She tried to research its history and ask the locals different questions, but didn't find any satisfactory answers to explain why it stood empty for years. Why wasn't it sold or demolished? The council didn't even want to discuss this house and dismissed Esme outright from making any queries on its origin, and why was taking up a decent-sized section of a prime piece of land. Esme knew on Halloween night she was going to explore this house. It didn't perturb her the same way as it had everyone else. It was just an abandoned house with an unknown history, and that was all. She asked her reluctant friends to come with her so at least she wasn't completely alone. Only one of them agreed, and Esme used trick-or-treating as an excuse to go out after dark. Her mother's usual refrain was, "Don't go near that damn house, Esme." But Esme had already packed a torch and crowbar in her lolly bag. Esme was dressed as a basic vampire tonight to match with Renee was coming with her into the house. She assured her parents she was most certainly not going near that house, especially on Halloween. Renee was going to video the whole thing for Esme and put it on her blog. None of the kids believed they were going into the house, so this was the proof they needed. The street was full of trick-or-treaters, so different witches, werewolves, Frankenstein, Draculas, and skeletons were crossing the street and knocking on different doors, all shrieking and laughing. Esme and Renee were standing in the gloom at the rear of the house, prying off an old slab of wood on the back window. The nails were old and rusty, so they came off easily. So Esme and Renee didn't need to use much force with the crowbar. Esme heaved herself for the window, shining the torch in the interior of what looked like a bedroom. There was an old bedroom collapsed in the corner, the bedding black with mold, and an old rotting chest of drawers in the other corner. The smell was overwhelming with mildew and mustiness. Ew! Esme gagged in disgust, leading the way into the hallway that had an old rotting staircase leading to the level above. She crossed to the room on the right and came across the lounge room with an assortment of old dusty furniture and a disused piano with broken keys. Renee went to explore the kitchen beyond, yelling out a horrified scream of "Rats!" and came running back to Esme. "We had enough footage now, Es. Should we go? This place is making me feel achy." Esme rolled her eyes in exasperation. "What about the rest of the house?" Esme dragged Renee to the foot of the stairs, and both tentatively climbed each step, hoping it will hold their weight. "When in doubt, keep filming," Esme whispered to Renee as they made it to the second floor. The temperature felt like it dropped several degrees up there. We will just get a few videos and be done, Esme decided, turning to confer with Renee. Only she wasn't there. Renee? Esme called out, peering into the rooms. The first two were completely empty. The third was a bathroom with a broken toilet and bath, its curtain black with grime and shattered sink with a smashed mirror. Renee, Esme shouted into the gloom. Very funny. She stepped into the last room, which was another bedroom. It looked to be a children's room, judging by the old dollhouse and a collection of old and decaying teddies on the bed. Esme shone her torch into the crook of the room and stopped as she got to the last corner by the window. Crouched low with her back to her was Renee. Renee? Esme called out in disbelief. What are you doing? Renee slowly turned and Esme came to the sudden, horrified realization that it wasn't Renee at all. The creature's face was completely decomposed with eyes as black as pits, its mouth hanging limp and open. Its teeth were like jagged fangs, its rancid breath permeating the room, just skeletal and hunched in stature, just staring at Esme with a hungry curiosity. Esme was paralyzed with terror and could barely breathe. Her heart was pounding painfully in her ears. She felt the blood coursing through her veins and the feeling of utter dread like a stone in the pit of her stomach. The hunched figure was breathing obscenely from the corner, waiting to make a move, waiting to pounce. Esme slowly backed out the room, barely daring to make any sound. The figure remained crouched in the corner but began making this appalling sound like a fox being slaughtered. It was laughing. Esme screamed and ran as fast as she could down the stairs, feeling rather than seeing the figure pursuing her. Esme tripped as she got to the second to the last step and fell with a loud thump on the bottom. She could see the figure on all fours right behind her, making that terrible sound of excitement as it came upon its victim. Esme could feel the pain from the fall, from her very soul, but she made herself stumble up and make the final dash back through the window to safety. She felt the creature grab her leg as she climbed out, but she kicked as hard as she could and got herself free. Esme managed to escape with her life. A later investigation revealed Renee's body hidden in the bathtub, in the bathroom Esme had gone into. Renee's body was behind that rotting curtain, completely mutilated. Horrifyingly, Esme was only inches from Renee's body. Renee's phone was recovered with the footage containing the crouched figure hiding in the bathtub, confirming Esme's unbelievable story. The end. This has been Grey Stories. I hope you liked them. Good night.